Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Good morning, Miami Dolphin fans. Fins up on this Throwback Thursday. I hope you guys are doing well. Everything's good here in South Florida. A little bit rainy this morning, but other than that, all is great in Miami Dolphin land. So thank you for joining us. A big thumbs up, fins up. Anyway, so the Miami Dolphins, as you know, are in Germany, getting ready to take on the defending Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs. So it's a very big game. Both teams enter the game at 6-2 with top dog at stake in the AFC for the winner, having that outright lead for that. So that would be a very big win, very good because, the narrative right now on the Dolphins, well, they beat all the bad teams, but they don't beat the good teams. Well, this is our chance this Sunday for our Miami Dolphins to go in, punch Kansas City in the mouth, and get that big win and knock out the narrative. By punching the Chiefs in the mouth, we knock out the narrative that the Dolphins cannot beat good teams. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. As always, we would do Throwback Thursday stuff, talk about some of the old days, do some trivia, but we're going to mainly focus on the game this week. I would do the local news roundup from the Barry Jacksons of the world, let you guys know what they're talking about, and we'll have fun talking about our Miami Dolphins as always. And good morning, Dad Dean. Thank you for joining us so early this morning. Big fins up to you. Ender, welcome to you. Thank you for joining us so quickly this morning. A big fins up just went live and already got you guys in here. I appreciate it as always. Ender, I know you love the trivia, especially. So I got some questions for you. We'll see if we get some more people in first before I start asking some questions. But I was thinking of you, Ender, because you're always asking about Dolphins trivia. I'll go ahead and hit one real up early. What year were the Miami Dolphins founded? Their first year that they played football. I will give you some hints. Like, was it 1964? Was it 1966? Was it 1969? Or was it 1970? What year did the Miami Dolphins first start playing football in the pro football NFL? Let me know, and we will go. That's one for you, Ender, before everyone else gets in the room. I know you like your Miami Dolphins trivia. So the Dolphins defense has been improving each and every week. They still don't rank high in points allowed. They're way down in the low 20s. We're giving up too many points. Very close, Ender. Think -1. Think -1, and you will nail it. But so the Dolphins defense is definitely up there, getting better each week. But when I went to the quick Barry Jackson, because I always like to do on Thursdays, local news roundup as the week's coming to an end to see what the local media is talking about. So, and then on that, though, because it says, for the first time this season, Miami's in the top half of the league in total defense. Opponents are averaging 229 yards per game, which is 15th from a defensive standpoint. So with 32 teams, you're basically talking almost smack in the middle, but we actually get one spot ahead of them. So we're actually there. But Miami is still allowing too many points. Opponents are averaging 25.5 per game, which is 25th from the defense's perspective. But the Dolphins are fourth in sacks with 27, so they have stepped up there. So we do have some room for improvement. Very good, Ender. Very good, and a big fins up to you this Throwback Thursday. And how can a Throwback Thursday, not have a little bit of the old.
Miami has the Dolphins, the
Okay, this is a
greatest
little
football team.
throwback
We take the ball
for
from
all.
goal to goal like no one's ever seen.
We've
We're
been
in
playing
the
that a
air,
lot
we're
this
on the
year.
ground, we're always in
They play
control.
that song after we score. So it is awesome. Hey, Moya, a big fins up to you on this Throwback Thursday. Already dropped a trivia question that Ender nailed. So we are good on that front. And we are rocking and a rowing. So the Dolphins narrative of that they can't be a good team. It needs to be really. I know I already touched on it this first thing this month, but that narrative to me, I don't care what others are saying in the media. That goes for all the things. I don't care if they praise our guys, nail our guys. All that matters on game day that our guys get the W. So I don't really care if the talking heads are saying, "Oh, the Dolphins haven't beat anyone." I'm not going to care if we beat Kansas City and then people start saying the Dolphins are the next greatest thing because none of that, brother. They knock us, love us, whatever us. At the end, all that matters is that our Miami Dolphins go out each and every week, give their best performance, come out on top as more often than not, get into a high seeded playoff spot, win a playoff game for the first time since 2000, and the rest of this talk will take care of itself because then you would be letting your play and do the talking instead of worrying about what other people are talking about. Now, talking to you fans and all that, I love. It's like me, just being a fan and fans talking to fans. But when it comes to the big guys making six figures a year to talk on the big fancy channels about, oh, I don't think they're, play. I don't care about that. And then like vice versa. If they were saying the Dolphins are the greatest thing since sliced bread, I don't care about them either. End of the day, win. The Dolphins win. That's all that really matters because that's the only thing that matters at the end of the season. No worry. I'm working outside today. It's a little hard to answer a question, but I'll try. I'm still listening, though, on a little delay. No problem, Ender. Hey, a delay, but you're still here today. So, hey, I'm big up on that, big thins up on that one. So, thank you so much, Ender. So, but yeah, I will throw some other questions out there your way, Ender, especially as we get some more people in the room. Okay, so here's a trivia question because it might be broken this year by Raheem Moser. Ricky Williams holds the rushing touchdown, not total touchdowns, but rushing touchdowns for the Miami Dolphins. How many rushing touchdowns is the current record for a single season for the Miami Dolphins? Ricky Williams holds it. How many is it? And a hint, Moser already has 10 rushing touchdowns, 12 total, 10 via the ground from handoffs. He has the 12. I mean, he has the 10 rushing touchdowns. But what is the record for a single season? I know that's a hard one. It's Ricky Williams, but how many is it? And then we will get into some more Miami Dolphins football. So the Dolphins sitting at 6-2, Kansas City sitting at 6-2, Jacksonville Jaguars and the Ravens all up there, all playing good football, all vying to be the best in the AFC. It's going to be a tough race all the way, and that's not to forget about the Buffalo Bills right behind us in the division. Not forget about the Jets, who now have a ring record. The Cincinnati Bengals, who are coming on like gangbusters. It's going to be a rocking and rolling in the AFC. So the Dolphins have to keep pace. I can talk. They have to keep pace this week and get that big dub because that would be like double the importance because not only do you not only do you get the W, you give Kansas City a loss. So it's a big game. Is it a must win? As I said yesterday, not technically a must win, but is it a big, huge, incredibly important win? Yes, it would be an incredibly important win to get tomorrow. On Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm with you. So anyway, guys, if any of you guys know what the rushing single season rushing touchdown record is for the Miami Dolphins, how many touchdowns did Ricky Williams get? And that is your answer. So we will see. And like I said, I think Mozart might beat it because Mozart's already at 10. The record's not that far ahead considering how many games that we still got left for Mr. Mozart to capture that record. What are your guys' thoughts on this week? Do you think the Dolphins are going to win, play tough at least, or are they just going to do another stinker like they did against the Bills and the Eagles, where we all come out feeling disappointed? So, do you see the Dolphins winning, playing tough that the game could go any way, but maybe lose right at the end, or maybe win, but or do you just see them having a bad one? That's what I would love to know what you guys think on that front. And I do like the fact that all of our defensive pieces are quickly coming back. Finally, quickly, whatever, but they're coming back. This might be the first week that we get to see Xavier Howard, Jalen Ramsey, Javon Holland, all out there in the and not even mention that Nick Needham is back and all that good stuff. You may get to see all that come into fruition and be the defense that we envisioned when the season started and continue to move up those ranks. We do have to stop giving up points. I mean, that's a no-brainer. This week might be a hard week to start that. This week feels different than being out there as early as Monday and Chiefs leaving today is an obvious advantage. No, I think so, man. I think the Dolphins did it right. They can be in a routine. They got the little travel junk out of the way, get their bodies used to the new time. I like how the Dolphins did it. End of the day, it's only going to matter on Sunday who wins and everything. But from that logistics standpoint, I like how the Dolphins took it. They consider how they to do it, and I like the way. And they're coming off a home game, as where the Chiefs were coming off a road game. So, there's no excuse. Miami needs to win this. We got our defensive players back. Looks like we're going to have Connor Williams back. Armstead, I'm not really sure if I don't think they would probably open the window's open on them, but I don't know if they will make that move to put him on the roster. That will be interesting to say. Hello, Anthony in Newfoundland. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning, Scotty. Good morning, Scotty, who is over in Miss Finn's talking this morning. So thank you for coming over from Miss Finn's after her show ended. Guys, make sure you check out Miss Finn's. More great content every morning. She goes on at like 8 a.m. So she's a must-see. Can't miss Miss Finn's TV, basically. She is awesome and a pleasure to know. But anyway, so yeah, back to this defense. We got all these guys coming back. This is the week that we've been waiting for. This is when we got almost all the pieces that we envisioned in the offseason when the Dolphins acquired Ramsey, thinking we already had Howard, and thinking we had a healthy Javon Holland. This is all what we envisioned. We probably are going to get to see it this week. And the defense is, like I said, they've been steadily improving. They're 15th now in the yards, allowed. So that's a little better than half the team by the slightest of margins, a little better than half. They still rank bad in allowing points. They need to kick that, they need to kick that up a little bit. But I'm looking forward to this week's defense. We got people start Chubb, Phillips, Wilkins. They're all starting to improve. You can see it every week. They're getting used to the system, whatever it is. I know they won't use that as an excuse of why they were not playing well. I was just reading an article. They didn't use that as an excuse. But for whatever reason, they are. Is it rather because we're playing bad teams, or is it because they are flat out getting better? And I think it is that they're getting better. They're getting pieces back. So I do see some quality stuff there. I agree. Yeah, Willems was last week. I imagine Newfoundland. I agree. It looks like Connor Williams will start. Armstead's window has been open, but if they go by history, normally they don't bring back the guy the first week they open the window on. Things can change. But that would be that's a weird thing unless they play someone on injured reserve or something like that, which I hope they don't have to do since they don't have that many moves to bring people back. But because if they bring Armstead back, that means they have to find a roster spot. And man, how the heck do you do that, man? Like, what do? You cut someone over there in Germany? Ah, that'd be brutal. I don't know. So we will see. I mean, it's a business, so they would do what they have to do to make the team better. But I was thinking, man, that's rough. You're over in Germany, and then you say, "Oh, hey, we're releasing you, so we got a spot to bring back Armstead." That'd be, yep. I know that's another one, man. We're gonna just so many because I mean, really, Robbie, you don't really see him get much action. You know they're gonna stick with Claypool. They already took his whole salary cap number on the books, and he has promise. He's a big body receiver. So yeah, I don't know, man. We will see soon enough, man. Crazy stuff on that stuff. Yeah, I guess you could do that. That'd be the move. And you could tell them, hey, you're going to be cut, but you got to clear waivers and whatever. And then we will put you back on the practice squad. And then someone on the practice squad will get cut after he clears the waivers and, they get back from Germany. But that's good, Scotty. See, Scotty, I'm going to put you in charge if I become a billionaire and buy an NFL team. There you go. See, you're thinking outside the box. Yeah, yeah. Michael K, I think you should be more worried about the Cincinnati Bengals and who the Dolphins are playing. I think you got something else you should worry about. Don't worry about the Dolphins, Michael K. I would be worrying about the Cincinnati Bengals beating up on you guys again. So we will see on that front. But don't hold your breath, guy. I'm a long way from being a billionaire. But if it happens, it's like if I start hanging out in the circles of Elon Musk, you'll be the first one I go and buy a team and look for. Of course, the only team I would really want to own because that's the team I would have the passion for, right? But anyway, all joking aside, it could be a really cool week on the defensive side of the football. And I do think Connor Williams will play. Hunt is what they call day to day, so I don't really know on that front. So you got Austin Jackson, you got Connor Williams, and hopefully, we'll see, man. And Lamb, in all honestly, he's done well. Is he Armstead level? Of course not. Of course not. But is he solid, good starting material? Yes. I would rather him be the swing tackle, but he's played well, so I'm okay with Lamb out there. Worried about left guard and right guard this week if Hunt can't go. But if Connor Williams comes back, that should help out a little more, and we will see. But like I said, the defense is what I try to focus on today because we're going to need defense against Mahomes. Mahomes not going to have 2 games in a row where they just get 3 field goals and call it a day. He was under the weather last week. He had a banged up hand, supposedly non-throwing hand, but a little bit of a banged up hand. So we're not going to get the Mahomes we saw against the Broncos. But can we get pressure on him? Yes, we can. We're up there way high in the sack total. So we can definitely get some pressure, harass him. My Scotty 15 for 15 option is still out there on there. I don't know. We don't need Michael K yet. Come on, man. That's too early. I don't want to subject hey thirsty cat for life. I like me some Michael K, but it's just funny that he's talking about I may drop a link later because I saw Anthony. He loves coming in and talking. But I wasn't gonna go too far and too long today. Hey, Kohler, a big fins up to you, Kohler. But I do find it funny that Michael K's more worried about the Dolphins getting killed by the Chiefs than looking at his own schedule and seeing that Buffalo's probably going to get spanked by Cincinnati. And if it's wrong, I would admit on Monday, if Cincinnati loses to the Bills, I'll be the first to admit I'm wrong, but I see Cincinnati beating the Buffalo Bills this Sunday night. So we will see. uh, Good morning, Hooked Up Joe. A big fins up to you too, Joe. As always, a big pleasure when you come into the room. So, guys, the first trivia question I asked today was, what year were the Miami Dolphins' first season? What year? Was it 1965? Was it 1966? Was it 1969 or 1970? That was my boom. That was it. I know. Hey, but that's it, guys. I'm not letting. I will drop the link in a few minutes, but as much as I like Michael K, I don't want to hear Buffalo Bills talking on our bad Dolphins yet. So maybe in a few minutes I will warm up to that thought. I will definitely drop it, but I would need more Dolphin fans to come into the room for support. Yes, Scotty, definitely right. Definitely right. 1966 was the Miami Dolphins' first year. And my other question, wait, hold on. Michael K said, actually in the shop working on a realer 38 in Buffalo, 70 here. Thanks to the corn stove. Gotcha, Michael K. So he's working today. So you're cap for life. You're gonna have to wait maybe until he's like on the Finns tailgate or something. He is working this morning. I'm sure Kohler will have a great debate with Michael K. Oh man. But you are 100%. 1966 was the year that the Miami Dolphins were played their first NFL season. My next question was, Ricky Williams holds the rushing TD record. Just rushing touchdowns, no, not combined. How many touchdowns is it? Raheem Mostert currently has 10. What is the current record for a single season for the Miami Dolphins rushing, held by Ricky Williams? I can't debate MK. I freckle. Color, I think you can debate anyone on the planet Earth, but that's okay. Dad, Dean, man, this sucks. I thought my pain Kennedy songs were gone, but I'm back in pain. I may have to go. Oh, I hope not, Mike. Okay. Like I told you yesterday, been there, done that. Kidney stone are no joke. And they were the worst thing that happened to me until what happened to me in 2020 and 2021 combined. That was even toppled kidney stones. But yes, kidney stones are no joke. They're pain, literally. And I feel for you, sir. I feel for you. I can tell you from experience. I was in the hospital with kidney stones a few years back. It is no fun. So our thoughts and prayers are with you, sir. Very close, Scotty. Very close. That's a hint to anyone else that wants to guess if how many touchdowns is the rushing single season that Ricky Williams currently holds that I think Moser will beat. So he's not. Well, it's okay, Michael, but you can't come in. But that's fine. Leaving for the cabin tonight. I'm sure you're going to go hunting. You guys are close, but it's a little less than. I mean, very tiny less than what Scotty said. If that's it, I can't hint much more than that. Very little less than what Scotty guessed at. So, and this I think will be broken this year by Mr. Raheem Moser. So it's going to be fun watching him do that. And did you see where? Yep, 16. That is it. You can go to Pro Football References where I got the all kudos to them for bringing up my stats. Pro Football Reference, 16 touchdowns. Raheem Mostert is at 10 rushing touchdowns. Yes, he has 12 overall, but 10 rushing touchdowns. So I think he's going to do it. So, yeah, there you go. You're basically right, Scotty, right there. Yep, there you go. Ender's on delay, so there you go. Ender's 16 in 2002, and that is the correct answer on both fronts. But yeah, I think Mostert will beat that record this year. I don't think the receiving touchdown record is Mark Clayton, and I'm not sure if Tyreek Hill would get there. That would take a lot of doing because we got so many targets on this team. Even though Marino also had Duper and that more in 1984, but I don't know about if Tyreek Hill will get to that record yet. So, yep, Ender got it. Yeah, I think Mozart will get it. Oh, what was funny was when Durham Smythe got knocked out on the 1 yard line. You see in some of the clips at the Miami Dolphins in their mic'd up edition, he walked over to Mozart and said, "Oh, I just want you to get to the record," and they laughed. He goes, "I just wanted you," because then he got his 1 yard run or whatever. He was, "I was trying to get you the record." That may have been the play. I don't even know if he scored on that next play. It may have been another drive, but he was saying, "I was trying to get you the record there." So that was funny. And then, oh, what was I going to say? Yeah, Jaden Phillips, Chubb, all these guys, man, they're really starting to improve. Wilkins is having his best sack season ever. He's going to get money somewhere. I mean, if it's not from the Dolphins, he is going to get his bag of money at the end of the season. And he's playing well. This defense, I really want this defense this week. This is going to have to be their best game because, like I said, Mahomes isn't going to put up 9 points. It's going to be more than that. The Dolphins are going to have to score on offense. I see a game, maybe I'm not saying like the old shootouts, in the 30s to the 30s, but I'm thinking in the 20s to the 20s. Like I do believe both teams have decent defense, but they both have such good offenses. Kansas City, we're just having a great quarterback. We having an overall good offense with all the weapons we have. Should be a fun game. Hey, crazy Dolphin, a big fins up to you. Thank you as always. Hey, Bobby Fins talking. Let me see you sneak in there. Big Fins up to you guys. Make sure you check him out on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Great content over there as well. They talk about everything. Football, Miami Dolphins, big focus, of course. But they also talk basketball and wrestling and all, almost in hockey and everything. So good stuff there. Scotty says, well, for a secondary health, our D-line is going to be able to finish the QB pressures into sacks. Yes, and that's what I've been pushing too. I really believe that those pressures become, at least the hits become sacks, the pressure become hits, the force bad throws, whatever how you want to look at it. We are going to get bigger and better numbers. This is what we were looking forward to, you guys. This is what we wanted. We wanted when the deal was announced and Ramsey was coming to Miami Dolphins. We were thinking, oh man, we're going to have the best cornerback tandem in football. We're going to have Xavier Howard. We're going to have Ramsey, and then we're going to have Holland roaming the back, in the safety spot. And we're going to be good because Cater Kohu is a lot better, when he's not just out there on the island all by himself facing the best receiver on the, what happened against Buffalo. You don't want Cater Kohu's a stud. Love the young kid. Great story. Always my favorite stories, the undrafted guys. But do you really want your money on him covering Diggs by himself? No. So we are getting better on that front. It's going to be interesting this week. Does Fangio change things up? Because when we signed Ramsey, the talk was, oh, they're going to move him around, like the star position, some people like to call it, whatever, the rover. That's why he called himself when they asked him in his meeting. He goes, you guys call me a cornerback, or do you want to class me as a safety as I'm getting? He goes, I call myself a defensive back. And that's how he describes himself. So we all envision that he might. To me, I would love to see him on Kelsey and let Kansas City beat you another spot. Make their receivers beat you. Don't let Kelsey, because at the end of the day, if the Dolphins lose, I don't want them to lose because we gave Kelsey 100-something yards. 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns. Don't let him be the reason. If their other receivers beat you, hey, that's football. They beat you. But don't let their best guy beat you that is their best guy by far. Because at least in our team, they may very well do everything because they're not going to want Tyreek Hill to come back and haunt them and, drop 150 yards, which I hope he does. But we also have Waddle to go to. Now we got Claypool, got Mozart in the backfield. we got a lot of weapons, and I know I didn't even mention all of them. I'm just letting you know we got several weapons. But I really feel like if they can take Kelsey away, that's a big step for the Dolphins getting a good victory this week. Let's see. Daddy Dean, sorry, that was for your turmeric root that helps. There you go. Dad Dean, if you're still in there, it helps. Turmeric root, it helps. Yes, Kohler, I agree that their receivers are not that dynamic. They won the Super Bowl last year, but they're not as good this year for sure as far as that dynamic. They're still up there in yards. They're very up there in the yards. They're one of the top teams. So they're not, but Kelsey's a vital part is is their cog that keeps the machine running. I would put Ramsey on him at least at times, spy him, make it harder for him, and just don't let him be the guy that beats you at the end of the day. That's what I would say. Let someone else beat you, and then hey, it is what it is. Because I believe if you match up like a Ramsey on a Kelsey, because let's face it, tight ends have killed the Dolphins over the years through different coordinators, through whatever. Doesn't matter. For some reason, tight ends has always hurt the Dolphins. And we're facing the best one in football this week. I know someone else would probably throw another name at me or whatever, but the one I look at, I know Kittle's really good out in San Francisco, but to me, this is like the best tight end. And yes, we see his face on every commercial known to man, it seems like these days, and the whole singing lady, what's it, Taylor Swift, and all of that. So yes, we have our fill of Kelsey. So I don't need to be seeing him catch like 10 balls for 160 yards against us this week. Let's take him out of the game plan, Dolphins. I hope because Fangio's been very, sticking to his regimen this year. He keeps a corner on this side, keeps a corner on that side, hasn't switched them around, haven't moved them around like some defensive coordinators put their best corner on their best receiver. He doesn't do that. If the guy lines up on this side, that's just whoever's over there is covering him. And the Bills took advantage of that, unfortunately, in that game, up there in Buffalo. So this week, I hope maybe now you're getting all the pieces gelling together. Hopefully, they're more comfortable and they can start rotating around and just have one of your best guys on Kelsey. That's all I ask. Just have one of your best guys on Kelsey. He's going to get his. Let's face it. He's going to get his. Just like Tyreek Hill, you can take him away, you can double him. He's still going to get his. He's going to get some balls no matter what. I don't care. Elite guys find ways to get things done, but just don't let him be constantly open where you're like, who's covering him? That's what I just don't want one of those games that like Kelsey's like wide open in the middle of the field on every time that you think you have Mahomes sacked, and then he throws a ball in the middle of the field and Kelsey's like 5 yards away from everyone else. So let's focus on him. Let's see. All the crap we give Waddle, Hill leads the league in drop passes. Jesse man, see Scotty, I didn't even see that. And I'm always reading Dolphin information, even though that's not good. But I guess he'll probably is way up there. He probably gets more targets than anyone. So it probably goes hand in hand, maybe. But I didn't even know he had that many drops. I know that was a knock on him years ago that he didn't have the cleanest hands, but it seems like he's been catching most of them with us. Wow, all right. He has 6. No, Waddle just that one game. I don't know. People wanted to pick on Waddle on that New England game for whatever reason. They loved picking on Waddle, but the man still had over 100 yards, had the touchdown that was wide open on. Granted, that was getting help from Tyreek Hill because you see the film, 2 guys go over and cover Tyreek, and Waddle basically just walks out from the line and is all alone, raises his hand. Newfoundland. Let's see. I imagine next gen shots on home scrambling will be high this week. Oh yeah, he's gonna definitely scramble, and scramble quarterbacks are always a pain in the butt for us. It's like tight ends are always a pain in the butt. That's where Josh Allen gets us so much, is that you think you have him. Half the time it looks like we have him sack, and he breaks off a 16-yard run on the 3rd and 14, and it's breaks the spirit of the defense. I mean, it's very discouraging. So yeah, And Mahomes loves to improvise and run around and scrambled out there. Denver did a good job though of hitting him. Yes, he had the flu, so maybe he had a little less step, maybe he had a little less pep in his step because, we all know when you have the flu, we all have a little less pep in our step. So, but they were hitting him. He was fumbling. He just looked a little rattled. I hope we can do that this week, but I'm expecting 100% Mahomes to be back on track. So we got to just stand up to the test and be ready to face the best quarterback in football. And as far as our offense, I like it. I think we can match them somewhat. I just don't think it's going to be in the 30s to 30s, like, that Buffalo and Kansas City game a couple years back in the playoff. But I do believe it's going to be in the 20s, and it's going to be a very close game into the fourth quarter. And hopefully our Dolphins come out on top. This is the game, you know, as we all discussed yesterday on Miss Fins and here. Is it technically a must win? No, this is not a must win. But is it a very vital game to the Dolphins if they want to have the number one spot in the AFC? Yes, it is. Hey, thank you, Miss Fins. I was just talking about you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. She is awesome, guys. If I'm sure most of you guys have followed her, but if you haven't, please go check her out. She is wonderful. Every morning, 8 a.m. sharp. Miss Fins is there. Miss Fins, go get some sleep. I don't know if you have to work or whatever now, and I don't know your schedule, but you said you stayed up 24 hours. I think you need some sleep, but make sure you hit that like button before you run out on me. Let's see. Oh, Kohler, let's see. That's one of his hot take. Haven't even read it yet. Mahomes exited the game early for some mysterious reason and not because they're winning. Well, I hope that's right. Well, I hope he's not hurt, of course. I just hope we're just beating the heck out of them. And there's like, well, might as well not get him hurt and save him for another game. Hey, awesome, crazy Dolphin. Just enjoy. Find Dolphin stuff to read. Watch whatever you watch, catch what, binge watch on the Netflixes of the world or whatever, streaming, whatever, just enjoying it all. Oh yeah, I don't even know who they're back. I think didn't Henry retire? I don't know. You're right, Scotty, man. You bring up all these questions. I guess I could Google it quick enough, or one of you guys can. But yeah, Henny was that guy. Thank you, Miss Fins. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome stuff. Like I really, really appreciate all the love. Mahomes hurt his left hand pretty bad. If the pictures were, yes, that's right. He did hurt his non-throwing hand. Thank you, Hooked Up Joe, for that. I didn't know that there was pictures out there, so thank you very much. And he also had the flu, from what they said. So I do expect a little bit better version of Mahomes, unfortunately. But like I say, I'd rather beat them at their best with their best, so there's no other silly narrative out there going on. And I said before, a lot of you guys were in here this morning. Oh, Blaine Gabbert. Wow. He's still, man. Some of these people steal money in the NFL, man. My job would have been like I used to tease, like Don Strock had the greatest job once Dan Marino. When he was behind David Woodley, he would have to actually come in and play and make David Woodley rest in peace. But well, I mean, once Dan Marino got here, Don Strock had the greatest job. He would just be in his like little starter jacket, have a clipboard, and I was like, man, that is awesome. And he did that for years, man. And what a job that is to have. But man, Blaine Gabbert still stealing money. Hey, more power to him. That's the American way. That's awesome out there, man. Being a backup to these great guys and still. Let's see what Garrett, by the way, big fins up to you for coming in here today. Thank you, sir. If you believe they're the cream of the crop, this is a must win. Yes, I agree. Like I said, there's variations of the must win. Like if you define a must win as if you lose, you're out of playoff contention and it's an elimination game, then some people say that's a must win. I'm somewhere kind of in the middle. I do believe from a mental standpoint, And from a value standpoint, then there are must wins in other ways. And I kind of agree with you. If Kansas City is like, and they are the cream of the crop. To me, they're the best team because they're the defending Super Bowl champions. And yes, they're coming off an inexplicable loss to the Denver Broncos. Even though Bobby Finstock did predict that. I don't know what insight he had, but hey, whatever. He got it right. And that was, but it was really a surprise for most people in the league. I don't think anyone really thought that the Broncos would knock off Kansas City. It's just, you know, sorry. Oh, but I just really do not know where. Well, what did my Scotty said something? I got nobody stole money at QB like Cutler. Oh yes, Jay. I know Jay Cutler is another guy that milked that money. Hey, but you know what? More power to the man. It's great being a back. The backup quarterback is always like one of the most favorite guys on the team. Is what they say on bad teams, not on good teams, but on bad teams. Everyone's always calling for the backup quarterback. They're like, "Oh, let's bring in whatever." It's just always like it's just like that. Everyone thinks the backup quarterback will come in and be the magic. So, guys, if you believe the cream of the crop, this is a must-win, is what Garrett said, and I do believe are the cream of the crop. But I don't want to say it's a must-win because the season's not over if they lose. They can still advance far into the playoffs. But from the standpoint of helping out in the playoff seeding for number one seed, which I would love the Dolphins to be the number one seed in the AFC. That would be the top off bye week and then all home games. Hey, that's the easiest route to the Super Bowl. Doesn't mean that's always going to get you there. Other teams can come in and knock you off, as we all know, on your own home turf. But that's the easiest route to get to the Super Bowl. The Dolphins have a history of playing much better at home than they do on the road. It's just in the playoffs in particular. So that's why games like that are a must win if you really want that number one seed. But it's not a must win. It's like the season's over. That's where I'm trying to distinguish. It's hard to explain where I'm at. It's a must win as far as if you want that number one seed and to stake your claim right now that hey, we're to be reckoned with. Then I agree on that front that it's a must win. We had that fun discussion yesterday. Yeah, I know we could have. I think KC feels like they have to live up to the history, and maybe we feel we are the team to beat. Well, I don't know. I hope so that we are the team to beat, but I don't. I think that's kind of happened to Buffalo. We went up there and we got our butt kicked, and they just wanted to show they were still the best team in the division at that point. So they went and they beat our butt. So I think they played with that extra little pep in their step. Then the Eagles were coming off a loss, and we want to get into referees and all that stuff. The Dolphins just didn't play their best, but the game wasn't even that out of hand until the end. So this is a week for me for the Dolphins to at least show up against what we all consider a top team. And this would have been a road game. I mean, not as really a road game all the way across the pond, but you know what I mean? This would have been in Arrowhead this weekend if it had not been over in Germany. So it's like the schedule makers and originally when they did the Dolphins no favor. All of our toughest games are on the road. I know it's how you fall as a record and how they verify who you play. But to go into Buffalo, one of the toughest places to play, to go into Philadelphia, one of the toughest places to play, and now we're going to Germany, but originally it was scheduled to be in Kansas City, one of the toughest places. That would have been like 3 brutal games. We actually get a reprieve, I think, of playing in Germany. To me, there's no really home team. It's about as neutral field as you're going to get. Anything that benefits the Dolphins more than it does the Chiefs because the Chiefs won't be in their friendly confines of Arrowhead that this game would have been at. So it's it's definitely in the Dolphins' favor. I'd rather be over in Germany than in Arrowhead, and with all the schedule change for our players and being over in Germany for a whole week, I think it still works in the Dolphins' favor. So this is it. I mean, this is a neutral field. That's always that we sport fans always throw. Oh, who would be favored on the neutral field? Kansas City are slight favorites, which is fine. They're the defending Super Bowl champs. They're still got a great record this year. They got a super duper quarterback. So for them to be favored by 2 or 2.5 points is what Scotty told me earlier in the week. Is that's fine. It's understandable, and I wouldn't expect the Dolphins to be favored against Kansas City. So to me, it's fair. Let's just see how it all plays out. Let's see, what did Kohler say? Let's see. I take Mike and Skyler over Gallup and third all day. Hey, there you go. And what did Scotty say? We should have traded Scholar with some of these QB signings. Hey, yeah, I know. We could have maybe got something for who knows. Give me the third command. Where's it supposed to be? I'm trying to get caught up. It's still Kansas City 2.5 right now. The over is still around 51. All right, Scotty, thank you. But to me, that's very fair. And that's, man, both of those numbers, man, are very fair because I see the games like being in the 20s to the 20s. So that's right there around that 51. So, and then 2.5, like I say, I'm not complaining about that's how it should be. They're the defending Super Bowl champions, AFC champions, 3 times recently AFC champions, two-time Super Bowl champion. They are kicking butt out there, so they deserve to be favored. It's just our job to go out there and knock that line off. Because the Dolphins have done everything asked of them with the points per head. So, like I said, I don't even gamble, but I do keep my line because it's kind of a gauge to see how people are feeling about your team. The Dolphins have been big favorites every game at home, and they go out there and they put the hammer on those teams and come out on top. Like the Dolphins were 9.5 point favorites against the Patriots. They covered it. They covered it, whatever it was, against the Giants, and by the skin of their teeth. And then they covered it against the Panthers. And so they're doing what they're supposed to do. And isn't that what good teams do? Beat the teams they're supposed to beat, and then win some of the ones that are harder, and you're going to have a good record at the end of the year. So that's why I don't like the narrative right now. No, the Dolphins can't beat the good team because it's a small sample size. If you're going to say the good teams that we played or the Bills and the Eagles are the only ones that we played, that's only 2 games. So let's see when the sample size gets bigger because we got a lot of good teams on the slate coming up in the near future, starting this week with Kansas City. We got the Ravens on the slate. We got the Cowboys on the slate. And we got another game with Buffalo on the slate. So there's going to be a bigger, and don't sleep on the Commanders. I know they're not considered good, but they sure as heck scared the Eagles both games. One went into overtime. So there's a lot of tough games remaining on the slate. So I'm not worrying about they can't beat the good team. Like I said earlier in the show before some of you got in here, I don't really care what the media says. I don't care if they say Tua sucks. I don't care if they say Tua is the greatest quarterback since Dan Marino. Doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, all that matters, Dolphins win more than they lose, and hopefully a lot more than they lose this year and be way above 500. Get to the playoffs, win one game in the playoffs, and then let's take care of the self from there because you can't get anywhere without at least winning one playoff game. You got to get that first stepping stone before we talk the big game. So that's why I care. So what all the talking heads say right now doesn't really matter. Now, us as fans just interacting and having fun together, just being fans, we can say stuff about teams. But the guys that get that big, the big fancy channels and all of that, like on ESPN and the NFL Network, they can call, who cares whether they praise us or hate us? It doesn't matter. It does not matter. I know we all react to it one way or the other, but really, all that matters is how our team plays on the field each and every week. And so far, the Dolphins have played well. They've done what they've had to against the teams that they're supposed to do. So I'm fine with our Dolphins sitting at 6-2 right now. Yes, the Jags. Yep, the Jags are the only team the Chiefs have beat, lost to the Lions. You're right. There you go. And the Jags, man, that's a team that scares me too, man. That's another good team. There's a lot of good teams out there, and people sleep on the Jags. They're not sleep on that team. They're good. They have a good coach, got a good young quarterback also. Not saying I'm afraid of them or whatever, but let's not sleep on them. They're not a bad team. Hey, Adrian Gonzalez, thank you so much for coming in today. If you're new here and you haven't done so ever and you like what you see, only if we earn it, tackle that subscribe button or very least know the thumbs up. I like to call thumbs up. Hopefully, Kansas City realizes it takes time to accumulate to Germany on many levels. Your stomach's not least of which. I know, I've been there. It's not a small detail. So, yes, Adrian, that's what I do like about the Dolphins getting there on Monday and the Chiefs getting there today. We will see come Sunday whether it really means anything or not. But I would hope that the Dolphins' method of doing it, they get into a little more routine also because let's face it, players and coaches, they like routine. They like the regimen to be what they're used to. And the Dolphins are used to. They come in on Mondays and get checked out, make sure everything's okay after the game on Sunday. So they did that. Then they got on a plane to Germany. Then Tuesdays, normally the players' day off, the one day where they don't have to worry about football or anything. And then so they were able to go sightseeing in Germany, have their players' day off. Then Wednesday it's back to football, their first practice of the week, and they were able to do that. Have another practice today. I can't say in because we're behind them over there, so they're already done what they've done. And I like that routine, and I like the fact that they did it that way. And then they practice again tomorrow, and then it's a much better routine than this. Now they're getting in there. So, but at the end of the day, we'll find out Sunday which way was the best way, I guess. So that's cool. Pete wouldn't even take Baker now. I don't know. I'm assuming we're talking about the Pete's takes that's infamous or someone else. I don't know. Man, you guys get so many great comments. Hey, Baker is finished at the start, but his moxie is good for one game or two in relief. Let's see. Joe already read. Either, either the Chiefs think they're that much better, or there is an error on Reed's part, or both. I guess on their schedule itinerary. But yeah, it'd be interesting. So I know Joe Shad, he think the Dolphins did it the right way because he says he's over there. He went over to Germany too, and he said he's still getting used to the schedule change down. So he said, Kansas City better be, but these are young guys. They probably adjust quicker. Who knows? But I like the way the Dolphins did it. That's all I was saying. And Sunday, if the Dolphins win, then we would know they did it the right way. I would add Zach Taylor to the list for now. He's able to bring his team back after slow starts. So, yeah, Zach Taylor, he's another guy that was on the Dolphins. He was a Dolphins assistant coach during the Adam Gase era. So funny to see him doing so well. Dan Campbell doing so well. Bowles doing okay and all of that good stuff. A lot of ex-Dolphin guys out there doing well. Zach Taylor, nice guy from when I knew some people that knew him. I never met him, but I knew some people that babysat his kids back in the day. And because, well, I know the parents of the kids that babysat, they're his kids. So, they all said he was a really good guy and whatnot. So that's cool. But I just want our really good guy, our really good coach to be the guy. I'd say the entire defense has bubble gut today. Then they all eaten street meat yesterday or Tuesday. There you go, Newfoundland. When we came off a tough game against Oakland cross country to play the Jags, we were a half step slow. That ended Marino's. Yeah, I know. You have to bring that up, Kohler. I thought I liked you, Kohler. Oh, there's a horrible game and a horrible memory for Dan Marino to go out on. But hey, we are finally going to start playing well. in the playoffs here in the near future. That's what I want. But first, we got to get to the playoffs. And a big step that week, this week, is beating the Kansas City Chiefs to get to that spot we want to get. But yes, Kohler, that was like a gut punch that game. There's a few Dolphins gut punches like Pete Syonovich, Mitch Fieldo against the Chargers, and yada yada yada. It's been a long time since the Dolphins have really hurt me because we haven't really had meaningful football for so long. You almost lose that feeling of pain. So that's the one thing about not having a team win a game for 20 years in the playoffs, more than 20 years now. It's just it numbs the pain. And I shouldn't even say the word pain. Sorry, Dad Dean, if you're still listening. It numbs the feeling of losing, and it's just it's I want to get back to where we play meaningful games, and a loss, if we do lose, hurts, and a victory feels like, oh my God, we're going on to the next round. I don't know the feeling of winning a Super Bowl, so I can't even tell you that. I know the feeling of losing to the Super Bowl when we lost to the Redskins and the Niners. I was a teenager during those years, but I remember those feelings, but I don't remember the winning of a Super Bowl feeling. So I would just love one of these days to have that experience. Sometime before I'm no longer here. We will see if that ever happens, though. Maybe my kids, or maybe my kids who are only, don't even have kids yet, but before, 21 and 17, maybe their kids, someone has to see a Super Bowl win at some point in time, right? Somewhere. So why not me? Why not us in this room today? Yes, that was a horrible game, man. That was a gut punch, but gut punch of a game. And there's so many that come to mind over the years that were gut punches. But that one was really, and mainly just in the hindsight that it was Dan Marino's last game, and it was just such an ugly game, never competitive, disgustingly gross, and just weren't ready for that game. And whatever. I mean, it's awful, horrible. That's why it's just whatever. Thank you, caller. Let's see. Casey at 100% is already half step slower than us. I agree on that, Kohler. I agree. They're already. I mean, that's the one thing about the Miami Dolphins. We are a fast team, and that should help. Speed does kill. Yes, sometimes when we go against the bully teams, it's not. Kansas City's defense is good, but I want to describe them as the bully type defense that are just going to punch you in the mouth, dominate you on that front. So we will see if that comes out to be. Getting Connor Williams back should be a big plus. I wish we were a little stronger knowing if Robert Hunt was going to be in there because we already know Wynn is gone at left guard for a long time. So you're already thin at that guard position, and now Robert Hunt's banged up. They're going to have to roll out Cotton and Jones if they're both gone, and definitely one of them if Connor can go. But we will see. And I do not expect Armstead to play, like I said, this week, just for the fact that doesn't fit the Dolphins' MO of bringing back a guys when the first window is open. Doesn't mean he doesn't want to play. Doesn't mean they would love him to play. But the Dolphins have been very cautious about bringing guys back. Not trying to jinx us, but we could win big here. I hope you're right, Mr. Kohler. I hope your thinking is right because it would be nice to, especially for the team, man. They got a long flight back. I know Kansas City do too, but I don't care about Kansas City. I care about our Dolphins. Long flight back. Let it be a victorious flight back. Come into the bye week. Have some time off funding for the players. Let them get back to our Eastern Standard Time here in the United States before we take on the Raiders in a couple weeks. Be nice. I'm taking advantage of the bye week this year, going up to visit my son. It works out. See, sometimes the football gods work out. The Dolphins have a bye week. My son turns 21 years old up in Gainesville on that weekend when the Dolphins have a bye week. So we're going to go up there and see him for his 21st birthday. So all works out perfect. I don't have to worry about missing the Dolphins game. Get to see my 21. I'm not going to call him 21 yet because, I'm trying to pretend I don't have a 21-year-old yet in the family. I know some of you have kids a lot older than that already, probably. But for me, this is the first one officially turning the 21 age. Big day, and we will go out and see him Thursday wins, and it'd be a blessing in disguise. We can re-sign him, Phil. Yeah, maybe so. We could sign him cheap. I just wish he was healthy. I do wish he was healthy, and then worry about the contract at contract time because I really like how he was playing. And then if you got Armstead back, and it was really looking solid there. So it is what it is, though. He is out. Robert Jones, Cotton. We will see who takes that over this week. It'll probably be Robert Jones if Hunt can't go because I think that's how they did it. They did Cotton at right guard. They moved him over to right guard when Hunt went down, and then they brought Jones in at left guard. So that would probably be what we see if Hunt can't go. I'm hoping Hunt can go. He was day to day. He did not practice yesterday. I don't know if any of you guys saw whether he was practicing today or not. I hope he was. I haven't checked. I keep on forgetting. I'm not used to the time zone difference. The only reason I knew yesterday was because I got the notification that the Mike McDaniel press conference was about to begin. I forget, so I don't even check all of that stuff. Let's see all you guys. Joe, a silver lining moment brought to you by Reynolds Wrap. And you guys have some good sense of humor today. I love it. It's awesome. Scotty, Kohler, all you guys are making me laugh other than Kohler's 162-7 bomb that he had to drop on me. But that's okay. It's part of Dolphins history. Like I said, I only root for two teams in the whole world on the pro level, the Miami Dolphins and the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox gut putt moment is like Bill Buckner game in the 1986 World Series. The Red Sox have since won World Series for me. So hopefully eventually the Dolphins, they will go win some Super Bowls for me, and I won't have all those gut punches don't seem as bad once your team wins one. Like I no longer look at that 1986 World Series as awful. I just look at it as it's one that got away. But the Red Sox won in 2004, 2007, 2013, and 2018. So if the Dolphins can get me 4 Super Bowls in my life, I might be really ecstatic. And I'd be so cocky, I might become like a Michael K. I might be that arrogant on the Dolphins side of things. I don't know. So we will see. Hey, Blue Wave. You got here right at the end, but if you can do me a favor, Stu, give me the thumbs up along with the fins up. You rock. Thank you so much. All right, yeah. So see, Germany is 6 hours ahead. So all right, thank you, Mr. Kohler. Oh, let's see, 5 hours. Now I'm gonna have to change Sunday. Oh, okay, that's fine. 7 hours ahead of Missouri. Oh yeah. Depending where. Hey, there. You go. There are some differences. Oh, that's right, from our time zones here in the United States. So, anyway, guys, big thumbs up to all of you. Never dropped the link today, but that's okay. Next time, there's always tomorrow. I will have my Friday show tomorrow where I drop some links and let all of you get to talk Miami Dolphin football. It's 4:03 p.m. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to see. Let's see, time in Frankfurt, Germany. 4:04 p.m. Thursday, November 2nd. 4:04 p.m. right now in Germany. I know the weather on Sundays is a really high chance of rain, so that might stink. That may slow down the team a little bit. I don't know. Thank you, Joe. Yes, great show to all of you guys. You guys made it possible. Flying solo here because Justin can't get here as much as he used to, or Steve and I do nighttime shows together. And it's fun. So you guys make it easy. I feel like more and more getting close to like Miss Finn's all day rolling by myself. She does it all the time. I always say, I can't believe she does it all the time. How can you talk for a half hour, an hour at a time? And she goes like 2 hours, but I get to where I blob for an hour, but it's because you guys come in here. On the days I don't have that many of you, it makes it rough. But like I said, all I need is one of you. Crazy Dolphin going with a big score by the Dolphins winning by 1 touchdown by 35-28. I would love that, Crazy Dolphin. I would love 35-34. I would love anything that the Dolphins come out on top by 1, by 10, by more is even better. But at the end of the day, come back to the United States. Our Dolphins come back to the United States with a big fat W. So the victory Monday would be extra sweet this week. And we were really able to start our victory Monday real early because it's like Sunday, we already start victory Monday. It's just like the long victory Monday. And knowing that you got a bye week after that where you don't even have to worry about another team coming into town. It's going to be fun. So come on, Dolphins. Get that dub in Frankfurt, Germany. Come home 7-2. And hey, we will be looking great at 7-2. A little reminder of the great days, man. That would be awesome. Germany does DST the last Sunday on October. Oh, okay. They do their. I know our clocks are falling back this weekend. So my mom says. She's the best. She's still 80. She's 80-something years old, but she still reminds me every time. She reminds me, remember the clocks are falling back or springing ahead, depending on the time of the year. They're falling back this week. So we will see on that front. Guys, thank you so much. I'm out of here. Let me see. Let me get that comment up there. Already had. I love the in between. Reminds me of when I lived in Arizona. So where are you now, Scotty? Are you? I guess you're no longer in Arizona. I can take by that comment, but other than that, I don't know where you guys are. Kohler, I think Kohler, you're in Florida. I know that, but like Hooked Up Joe, all you guys, I don't really know where you are. You guys are all around. Dolphin Nation is definitely that. Dolphin Nation. I mean, Dolphin Global, because there's Dolphin fans all over the globe. When you see the social media accounts say where people are from, I always find it amazing. Well, that's it, dudes and ladies. But Miss Fins, I think, did leave. But all you super duper people, you guys rock. And I would have done, Ender wasn't in here as much, so I didn't do as much Dolphins trivia, but I always love my Dolphins trivia. So if ever you guys want Dolphins trivia, you can check out dolphinthirsty.com. Tons of trivia questions on there from our Miami Dolphins. Fins, oh, okay, that's what I think I did. You did ask. I did remember that because one of my sisters lives in Port St. Lucie. It was just a little bit above you guys. So she always teaches she should have bought in Martin County because the property taxes aren't as high as Port St. Lucie. So you did a good job, Hooked Up Joe. So, but anyway, she likes it up there. All kidding aside, she likes it up there. She used to be down here, and she moved up there about 10 years ago now in Port St. Lucie, maybe a little over 10 years, and she's loving it up there. All right, so there's a lot of you guys here today. All right, that's cool. That is cool. Like I always thought there wasn't too many South Florida people in here. I'm myself South Florida. I'm 954 now in Pembroke Pines, but born in the 305 and worked my whole career in the 305. Just went to Pembroke Pines to live and up here. So you guys rock. I know I keep on saying that, but I keep on seeing comments I can't let go. But that's it. Dolphins #1. Fins up. Dolphins win this weekend, but I will talk about that tomorrow.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you want to know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win.